you guys. How are you doing? Slightly different stream today. Slightly different record video this format today. Firstly, I will still be streaming later at around 1 o'clock. However, I've been having some issues with my energy supply now for months. Started back in a couple of months, and I'm currently, frankly, fed up to the back teeth with them. So, what I'm currently doing is I am recording that phone call live now that I'm having with them. The reason I've got problems with them is as follows. They've been overestimating my bills. They changed significantly overestimating my bills. Not a few quid here and there, but sometimes up as far as double almost what I'm actually likely to use. They have recently replaced my meter from a standard meter to a smart meter. However, despite the fact they have access to the data from my meter without me needing to give them a reading, they haven't even looked at that meter reading, their data from my meter, because the most recent bill I got through is for 751 or so units, and that's more than I used in February this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I may use that much, but based on what I've used this month, which they haven't taken into account for, which was around 300. I've actually got the data in front of me. So I've actually used 386 units up to the end of May. But it's the whole of May. I don't feel I'm going to use 751 units in June. So it's quite clear to me. This will be the third or fourth time I've tried to phone them, and I will just continue to call them until I actually get through to speak to someone, because it's not uncommon for them to just ring out for 15 minutes, to sit 15 minutes on hold minute just to hang off. I'm going to ask them a series of questions. First, I'm going to ask them to confirm what my meter number is, because obviously with a new meter comes a new number. I'm then going to ask them to confirm what the last meter reading they have had on my old meter was, and when the last time they checked my new smart meter, which I don't need to send them data to, is. I'm then going to explain to them that I couldn't give them meter readings anyway, because I can't log into their app, because it won't allow me to log in despite my login details being correct, and I can't issue them a meter reading via their website, because it's asking me for meter readings I physically am not able to give them, because they're asking for 2 meter readings per day, which is one for daytime, one for nighttime. However, I only produce my meter only produces one reading for every 24-hour period, so I can't produce them a night read. So, with that being said, let's phone them, shall we? Yeah, the audio is going to be on. Let's go on loudspeaker because I can't get it to go through to the computer for some reason. So this may just be a bit jaggedy on the recording back, and I apologise if the sound from their recording is a bit iffy. Can you actually hear me? Yes, right. So the call is being made.
Thank you for calling Symbio Energy. Your call is important to us. We are currently experiencing a high call volume, hence the hold time is longer than usual. The average hold time is approximately 15 minutes. Please stay on the line and a customer service representative will assist you shortly, so that we can put you through the correct department. Please select one of the following options. Press 1 for customer services. 2 for sales-related calls including business call, 3 for meter reads, 4 for any billing and payment queries, and 5 for anything else.
We'll try 4 first, shall we? Because that should be for billing and queries.
Thank you for calling billing.
Up.
This call is being recorded for training and monitoring purposes. Please hold for the next available agent.
Hold music. Slow it down a bit. So yeah, it's been a good couple of days where I am. Had some lovely weather. It's been hot. We had barbecues for 2 days in a row with the neighbours. It's been wonderful. Had a few drinks, which is the first time in about a year since I had a beer. It's been lovely. Let's see how many minutes it takes them to actually pick up the phone, shall we? Because if the experience tells me it'll be quite a while. So as I say, I will still be streaming later today in about 2 hours, actually, about 1 o'clock. I will put notifications on Twitter, but that won't make a difference because this video probably won't be up by then. So I'm going to have to get it uploaded to YouTube in the meantime. As I'm not actually streaming, it's kind of weird actually recording something and not streaming it. So I'm talking to you guys like you here. Yeah, so the periods where I just go very quiet while I'm waiting for them to answer the phone and the like. I may try and chop certain bits up, but I doubt it. So my software for recording my editing isn't very good. I can cut bits out, but I can't add pieces. So let's just sit here patiently and wait, shall we? The camera's looking at it, so that's better. Yeah, it's definitely, you can tell this is my real background, can't you? So I should really look at the camera, not looking at my other screen, apologies. Just checking out on it, so keep that up for a minute. No, I won't actually, I'll reduce it. Tell you what, still need to be able to see to make sure my... So I'll just keep my mixer up so that you can hear the audio coming from the phone. So how long has that been on so far? 3 minutes. You watch it ring out at almost exactly 15 minutes. I'll turn my phone to the camera so you can see the screen when it gets to near 15 minutes it hasn't been answered. And you watch it will hang up almost exactly on 15 to 16 minutes. To 15 to 16 minutes. Just ring out and say please we've messed you up the tone and call you back, which they don't for reference. For those that, if I've had mentioned already, my utility company is a company called Symbio. Now that's much use of chocolate fibre out of everything. They really are. They couldn't even calculate my estimated annual usage correctly. They're estimated that I'll use some unusual, I want to say 7,000 units. I've calculated it based on 2 different variations of the calculation that was used, and I've come to somewhat less than that. They're saying it should cost me £82 a month if I use my EAC. I've calculated my EAC to my EAC, EAUC, it's not just English, and estimated annual calculation consumption to about between £14 and £15 less than that. Depending, £14 is then being generous on their part. So we shall await them answering the phone, I guess.
We have a longer hold time than usual, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. Our offices in Goa, India, has been seriously affected by the cyclone Taukti, which has caused major destruction along the west coast of India. But we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly.
Whilst I haven't got the sympathy for the people that were affected, the 15-minute wait time is always a thing with them, regardless whether there's been a natural disaster or just because it's just them. It's true that there's been a natural disaster, and I say sympathy for the individuals involved. I'm going to make it clear that I will make it clear to the person I'm not actually having a go at them as a human being, because they're there as a customer representative. They're not there as a they're representing the company, so I don't want to have a go at a representative of the company, basically. As such, I'm not having a go at the individual, it's the company I'm upset, I'm frustrated with, and I'll make that clear to the individual on the phone. I'm not having, please don't take anything I say personally, because it's not them I'm having a go at, and I don't want to be rude to them at all. However, if they start feeding me a load of crap, then I will start having them, basically. That doesn't actually do anything. Sorry about it. Right, I'm just going to move my camera across to my other side. It's going to make no sense to you guys because I'm going to move the camera. It's another screen, so I'm still tempting you guys out and from the side. So I'm thoroughly focusing on the screen. As you'll see, it hasn't actually moved because it's a virtual screen and it's a virtual background and an actual background. Although the background is genuine, is within my room. It's just where my camera is. Can you still hear me? Hello? Yep, right. Just where my. Let's move my mic across a little bit so it's switching. Just show you. That's been a pain. You still hear that fine? Okay. Hopefully. Hopefully you can still hear that and me just fine. I'll now put the phone basically right next to the camera. I will have to pick it up periodically, I suspect, but however. No, we're what? Nearly 10 minutes in. This is fun, isn't it? So 8 minutes on the call, and no answer yet. As I say, so I have a great deal of sympathy for those that are involved in that have been caught up in the natural disaster out in Goa. However, the company themselves have been making excuses for not picking up the phone, etc., for weeks, if not months. So there you go. Just start back up. Sorry about this live adjustment. It's a bit too low now, but for this sort of thing, it doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. Like I say, this is my frustration video essentially. I know a number of YouTubers done these about YouTube itself. I'm just doing this because I feel like I've got no other option in regards to Symbio, because they just seem to be palming me off. So I just wanted the record of this conversation, this call, etc. So if I have to take this to the Ombudsman in a few weeks' time, then I've got documented evidence and we're trying to get this stuff resolved.
We have a longer hold time than usual, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. Our offices in Goa, India, have been seriously affected by the cyclone Tauktae, which has caused major destruction along the west coast of India. But we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly.
So I'm just reading the news in regards to this. So it's likely to cross the Geldia. This is how bad it is. I really just don't trust Symbio. So the date on this article. This was a little over 2 weeks ago. The most recent thing on this thing is 11 PM on the 16th. Parts of the area were heavy rainfall and strong winds. Many trees have fallen, 2 sheds have blown. According to Natural Society, is a large cloud band over the prevent areas of the cyclone. 70 houses, forest have been damaged. So that's 6 dead. So yeah, it's a real thing. Not quite as severe as that. It's quite a major piece for the people involved, obviously, but not quite as large as perhaps Talk would like to have you think it was. As I say, that's not me suggesting that they are individuals involved, and the people on the phone won't be struggling at all. However, I don't trust Talk as far as not Talk, so it's not Talk, it's Symbio. Talk where I kept official 3 months back, as far as I can throw them. So we are nearly 16 minutes into this video, 12 and a half minutes into the phone call, and still not speaking to anyone yet. So yeah, this is going really well so far. Absolutely ridiculous. I should have just stuck this on my live streamed it on Twitch and then re-recorded it back onto YouTube really, but never mind. We'll do it the hard way. Completely suck up all of my hard drives out of capacity. Mind you, I've got a terabyte just which can potentially hold most of this, so with a bit of luck I won't run out of hard drive capacity in the meantime. We'll see though. Be unfortunate if I do. As I say, if you're seeing this, it means that their resolution they provided me with is, frankly, not a resolution at all, and it's stuck. And I'm escalating the complaint to their customer, to beyond their standard customer services, through their complaints procedure via their quality and assurance team, I think they call them. So, yeah, it's not really, as I've said before, that's not really what I want to do. However, if I have to, that is what I will do, because I'm fed up to the back teeth of being shoved around and getting no responses, or not necessarily no responses, but responses which contradict themselves, which don't solve the problem, etc. Where's my pen gone? So I've got a pen, so I will be taking some notes while I talk to them. If I get
we have
to
a longer hold time than usual, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. Our offices in Goa, India, have been seriously affected by the cyclone,
got about a minute and a half left
which
before
has
it hangs up.
caused major destruction along the west coast
Maybe
of
2
India.
minutes tops.
But we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly.
Date today, 3rd of the 6th. So I'm just putting a series of notes I'm just setting up my notes, the additional notes I'm writing as I go along, so that I then have the what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry about the clapping, clicking it a bit. I've then got stuff to refer back to as we go along. Let's see what happens, shall we? I just hope you can hear my voice okay. It does seem that my volumes are louder when I talk than when they weren't. So I reckon we've probably got 30 or 40 seconds before I reckon they'll automatically cut me off and tell me to leave a message. Which I'm not going to do because that doesn't work. I've tried emailing them in the past and they don't even respond to emails. So this was weeks and weeks. This is back in the beginning of May. This is back in the end of April, beginning of May. So it's not old data, as it were. Or sorry, relatively recently, so it's pre this.
All of our agents are busy helping other customers. At the tone, please record
Told
your
you.
message.
So we'll hang up and start again, shall we?
Hang up or press the hash key for more options.
So let's go again. We'll start again. We'll try option 1 this time. I reckon we'll probably get through as well.
Thank you for calling Symbio Energy. Your call is important to us.
So I've pressed option 1 straight away.
Thank you for calling Customer Services. This call is being recorded for training and monitoring purposes. Please hold for the next available agent.
I think we managed to get through into calls to option 1 because the customer service is usually really quick to respond. Or more likely to respond than the billing department, which is rather unfortunate, isn't it? I don't think most of the customer service agents will have come into contact with someone who can do math, I guess. So I've got two sides of A5 which are basically filled with math to prove their number are totally false. And made up. Never mind. So I was doing something to the rest of my piece of notepaper on. I'm just preparing myself. So I've got everything in front of me already, should they actually advance the phone. So just like I've got a like so if my math is correct, it's going to be within tolerance. As it stands, this is going to have about 34, 35 minutes. When this video hits about 35 minutes, would be my guess. We shall see then. What I will say is I have a habit of getting up and walking around normally if I'm on the phone, which I won't be able to do if I'm talking to you guys. So I set myself the phone. No, I can't, can I? Because if I reset myself, I'm going to be completely off screen. So move this across a little. It's a little bit better. So I hope you can hear both sides of what's going on at the moment, and not just my phone, and not just me. Now, I did a test recording previously and it seemed to work, but we shall see what happens. Could be a long old wait, guys, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry if you are watching this and this is torturous for you. When I get to the when I eventually do get through, what I'll do when the video is uploaded, if I need to upload it, is I will put a time down at the bottom of this comments for when the actual phone call starts. Hopefully this will be a relatively speaking textbook example of how to deal with a usually ringing supplier. However, it may not be, we shall see. I did have one customer services lady I spoke to initially who was very dogged and determined and wouldn't accept that my math was wrong, despite the fact it was factually completely wrong, and she contradicted herself on a number of occasions. However, I ended up having to sort of leaving her to do her thing and then trying someone else. Not because I was trying to not because I was trying to just get my own way, but because yeah, it is what it is really. I just couldn't be bothered with the whole arguing the toss with someone who wasn't prepared to listen to what I was saying. We very quickly turned from sympathetic here until as soon as I started questioning her own math, as it were.
We have a longer hold time than usual.
No, they've got the same generic one on all of them. I used to have a slightly different variation of them. Last time I phoned, they were still talking about billing cycle for February, so at least they've finally updated it, I guess. That's some progress.
Major destruction along the west coast of India, but we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience, and a customer service representative will be with you shortly.
So, my cable for my earphones has got a bit twisted up over time. I should rectify some of the knots and bangs and knots and twists in it. It's a bit long. I was originally going to start streaming using my TV, so on a monitor, but I ended up getting two monitors. I've got two decent-ish 1080p 60 monitors, not HDR or high refresh rate or anything, but they were too good a deal to pass up, I think, so I put it. So yeah, I went with those. So yeah, yes. Yeah. Same generic hold music that everyone uses, isn't it? It's boring as sin. So yeah, we're nearly 25 minutes into this video, and I've still not even about to speak to anyone yet. This is kind of the story with these guys. I remember saying I shouldn't take too much to my partner one day while she had the kids downstairs, and I was up here an hour and a half and still hadn't spoken to anyone. So we'll see what happens today, shall we? I mean, I'm maybe a little optimistic, but I hoped phoning at the time of day didn't mean I'd miss people who are at work today trying to phone people whilst they're on their lunch breaks. Nah, obviously not. I mean, they really don't do themselves any favours. I mean, as I say, I appreciate there's been a natural disaster which is beyond both Symbio and individual Netherlands control, and that has effects that, well, can't be measured by me, certainly. Sorry, my mic stand's a little bit wobbly. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm hearable, rather than just you hearing the music and something quiet in the background. So I'm linting a little, because hopefully the audio, because it's coming slightly behind the mic, is audible but not overly audible on top of my voice, and it's underneath my voice. But we shall see, I guess, when you get the playback from it from YouTube. That reminds me. Well, I'm here. I might as well set some of the stuff for my stream up for later on. Boring stuff like this, I know. I'm sure it's going to bore the hell out of you, but I'm not sure if you've got some audio then, but that was Twitch doing its thing. Stream management. Get the feeling of random number generator picking after the roll as my game to play was probably a big mistake, because it's a very oversubscribed game in that respect. Right, so that's updated for later on. Okay, that's handy. If this does roll into my time for streaming, I'll be A, very upset, but B, because I've got other stuff to do between now and the stream. Yeah, but B, I will be just hitting the stream and just streaming the same conversation if I'm still halfway through a conversation, and I actually don't care, because this is now beyond, as I say, this is now beyond a joke, and this is resolving. I mean, just to give you guys some more context, in the last 3 months, what they charged me for April, what they charged me for May, and what they charged me for June comes to 2,184 units. What I can say confidently, I'm going to talk over this, is by the cyclone Togti, which has caused major destruction along the west coast of India. But we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience and the customer service representative. Well, what I can say, I've used plus an estimate for June of my own, which is based off what I used in May, because it should actually be less, but it'll be a lot less, but it'll be similar. 8, 8, 7, 23. That's 6 plus 6 is 12. So they've estimated in that 3 months I will use some in the region of 2,184 units between the beginning of April and end of June. Now I have technically 3, but 2 actual months worth of data, which they've got some of, but not all of, because they haven't bothered to look at my smart meter at their end. Plus an estimate for June, which is based off what I've actually used in May, will put me at 1,234 units. So, as you can see, that's 750, just under 750 more units. So that's a whole, that's a 2 months worth of energy they're asking me to pay for that I haven't used. So that's why I've had enough, because this has been ongoing for months, and I've said it more than once in this video already. I'm sick to the back teeth. So we're at what, 29, nearly half an hour into the video. Still not spoken to an end of the call, and I suspect I'm going to get hung up on in about 5 minutes. Again, and asked to leave a message after the tone. I might try pressing hash and see if I can get more options, but I doubt that will make any difference whatsoever. because I suspect it just won't ring off. We shall see though, I guess. So another 4 or 5 minutes. Let's see if I can firm that mic arm up a little bit. 2 seconds, I'm not going anywhere. I'll just be behind the PC. So while that's still not ideal, it is certainly an improvement. The arm's a bit stiffer now, so I should stay in place a little bit better, hopefully. Let's get the earphones back on. There we go. Good enough. These aren't exactly the prettiest headphones in the world, but they seem to do the job. Sorry, I keep pausing to make sure my audio cam is actually triggering the mic and it's not just the phone doing it. But it seems to be working okay, so I just keep adjusting myself, and as it were. That's where the boring part comes in. Well, I've now got my cup of tea. That's run out.
We have a longer hold time than usual, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience caused. Our offices in Goa, India, has been seriously affected by the cyclone Tokti, which has caused major destruction along the west coast of India. But we have made sure that our phone lines are working and are there to help you. We thank you for your patience.
It may well ring out now. Look at the time on the list on the screen. It might have a minute or two before it rings off again. No, we can have a little bit longer of it pretending to be they might answer it and then know for where they won't. Yeah, this is yeah, the joys of being a home. The joys of owning a home, I guess, or even just living in a home. Unfortunately, I don't have a dual mic audio set up. I'd have put the phone with the separate mic and then just shouted at it, basically. Where the house is nice and quiet, so if they do answer, I shouldn't need to shout at them. This should be a perfectly acceptable volume. Worst case now, I'll flip the phone around the other way, so well, no, because the mic portion is facing towards me already, so they've got no excuse. I'm only what? Which is that? That's my mic cable. Tap it up. 6 to.
Thanks for calling Symbio Energy. This call will be recorded for training and quality purposes. This is Prathamesh. How may I assist you today?
Hiya. First off, I want to say I'm also recording this course for my own reference should I need it later.
I didn't get that. Could you please repeat?
I said, I'll just so you're aware I'm also recording this course in case I need to reference it again later, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so.
Could you please give me a customer reference number before we,
I don't have it to hand actually, but can I get? Is there any other way you can get me be able to identify who I am?
Okay, can you please give me a postcode?
Charlie Bravo 21 4 Echo Romeo.
I didn't get that. You have to be a little slow, sir, so that I can comprehend. There's a lot of distortion in the network.
I'm sorry about that. It's Charlie Bravo 21 4
Okay.
Echo Romeo.
Echo Romeo. It's CB21ER. Am I correct?
CB21 4 Echo Romeo, correct.
CB21 Echo Romeo. Okay. It's going to take a while, sir. Okay. So
Okay.
please be patient. Yes. Could you please confirm the first line of address?
The first line of my address should be 26 Mays Avenue.
No, sir. I'm not being able to trace your account. Do you have any MPAN of your property?
Do I have any what? Sorry.
MPAN. MPA.
The MPAN. I don't have any of that to hand. I'm afraid. I'm not actually at home at the moment.
Okay.
If you can give me a second, I might be able to bring something up on my phone. If you give me a moment.
Okay. Take your time, sir. I'll wait for you online.
Right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My customer reference number is Sierra Echo 07078 Alpha. Yep, that's correct.
For security purpose, I need to confirm the name associated with the account, okay? For that, you have to give me a complete name.
Sorry, say that again. I misheard you. That should be Mr. Simon Andrew Lester or Simon Lester. I can't remember his middle name or not. My first line of my address is 26 Mays Avenue, and my postcode is Charlie Bravo 21 4 Echo Romeo. Should be d4 prodigalson@gmail.com, I believe is the one associated with this account. Okay. Right, okay, this has been kind of an ongoing issue. Where I'm getting estimates from yourselves that are frankly laughable because they're nothing like bearing in reality, not even close to reality, firstly. Secondly, you guys had through a third party, we had our meter changed by yourselves at the end of April. Okay. And that was changed to a smart meter. The bill from April was never consolidated to accommodate for the meter reading the company gave you and the reading from the smart meter, which you should have been able to take without me needing to give it to you. I've got a reading for May, which was also off the smart meter, which again I shouldn't need to give you, but that none of this seems to be appearing on the bills. And I've just had a bill for you, which is estimated for June, which is more than double what I actually spent in May. I'm just confused about why you aren't using my smart meter to gain accurate information, as much as anything. Right, can you just give me 2 seconds? Actually, 2 seconds. What have you got the reference number for my meter to hand? Because that will actually help me tell you whether you've actually got the right meter on the system or not. Okay. Okay.
Do you want to know the meter serial number?
Yeah. Can you just if you give me the first three or four digits, I should be able to do which one you got.
The last 4 digits.
Okay.
Because, okay, they are 0248.
Right, that should be the one for the new meter. So you have actually got it logged on your system now, but you didn't at all last month.
Yeah, but so I would just confirm whether that, I agree that I can see before me that your property has a smart meter, but we need to confirm, I need to confirm whether that meter is commissioned, and as that, if we can read the.
Well, if it hasn't been commissioned, I've had the meter since the 20th or 21st of April, so I'd be a bit concerned if you haven't been able to get it commissioned in the meantime.
There are two things. Commission means the meter is operational, and second thing being if we can read the remote, we can access the meter.
Right, okay.
It has been commissioned, but I want to know if that meter can be accessed.
Okay.
So this one issue we have. Is there an okay? Give me a moment.
Okay.
Go into your account.
I don't trust this guy as far as I can throw him, frankly. I'm sure he's trying to help me.
Mr. Lester,
Yes,
I'll place your call on quick hold while I get in touch with
that's fine, no worries.
meter reading team. Okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick. Okay? Don't have to wait for long.
Okay, no worries. As I was saying, I don't trust this guy as far as I can throw him. If you've noticed, his audio's got quieter because he knows he's being recorded, and I think he's sussed I've got him on loudspeaker. So that's why I've changed where my phone is to make sure that my speaker is firing right into the phone instead of underneath it. I'm sure he's trying to be helpful to some extent, but my experience is that I'm just going to go around the houses here. I've not quite gone in the order of what I was going to do in regards to how I was going to ask questions, but we shall see what happens. Because as I say, by my math, they owe me about a month's worth of energy, including the estimate that is completely inaccurate. So see how long it takes, shall we? Just going to pop your phone down when he starts talking and I'll pick it back up. So I'm sure you can hear the whole music just fine. Actually you can't, I'm surprised. It's interesting that in 23 minutes of this call, the audio has actually got quieter. To be fair, this track is trading off a bit, so that might part of it. I may have to increase my sensitivity a bit so you can hear them, which means I'm going to be really loud and clippy, but that may just be the way it has to be. If I'd have thought about this, I should have put the audio into the audio box, really. Never mind. I could do that now, to be fair, but I don't think I'll bother because I have to find the plug-in to do it, and I can't remember about, so I hid it. I don't even know if it works, I've never used it. And I've literally got my phone touching. There it is. I'll take it with hands free, isn't it? That's why I knocked it off hands free. That explains everything. Sorry about that. I just only knocked it out hands free, so that explains why you couldn't hear me. Him, sorry. So hopefully now you can hear them just fine.
Thanks for holding the line, Mr. Lester.
No worries. Yeah, on there, no worries. Yep, can you hear me okay?
Yes, now I can hear you. Today, probably there is some kind of distortion. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you if you can hear me.
Yes, if the call drops, I'm going to call you back. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. meter, sir. I can see on my system. However, due to some technical errors, we are not been able to access your meter remotely. So I have put the I have requested my IT team to kindly look into the matter, and I will have your meter reads soon.
Right, okay. On that note, and I have an issue where, as it stands at the moment, this is another issue, which is again why I'm having to make calls to yourselves, where I can despite having a valid login, I can't log into your app to manually give you my meter reads, and when I go online, it's asking for for two types of read, and I only have a single tariff, so therefore I can't give it two types of read, so I physically can't give you the data.
Once we have the new meter reads for the end of the month, we'll have a reconciled bill, and you will be revised for the subsequent month.
Right. So, as far as the drastically overestimated bill I've got for the coming month, there's nothing you're going to do to change that, no?
No, sir, because these have already been issued.
Right.
So I cannot.
Except it does say when you issue. Sorry. Carry on. Apologies. What I was going to say is, it says on your bills that if any changes need to be made, we'll notify. You can do it within the 3 days before you try and take money. But anyway, it seems okay for you to change the bills at your notice, but not when they're actually wrong on my side. However, it seems to be, like I say, because that bill. I mean, obviously, I've now got a fixed direct debit on my account, which I believe is still over what I should be paying. But I'm not going to argue that for the time being, because that's something for another day. The bill you've estimated me for is for £107. That's more than I spent in February. Okay, and funnily enough, June and July are much warmer months than February. So why would I need to have my heating on, which I don't have? I'm not even going to be inside. So I can't see how you can say with a straight face, you as a company. I'm not talking to you, having a go at you specifically, because I can't see how you can sit there with a straight face as a company and say you're going to use more electricity in a summer month than I'm going to use in the middle of winter. That just doesn't make any logical sense.
Okay, so I'll explain to how it works. So what has happened is, so the last meter reading which we obtained from your end, prior to or after the smart meter was installed, the last meter which we have on our system was on as per 21st of April 2021.
That's correct.
Okay? And they are 87,243.
Thereabouts, yeah, sounds about right. Sorry?
Are you making a note of it, what I'm saying?
Yes, I've actually got most of this written down in front of me already, so I'm just making sure what you're saying ties up with what I've got written down. That's all. So yeah, you're right. Carry on.
Okay, so I'll repeat myself. So the last meter reading that I have before me is as on 21st of April
Correct.
2021.
That's right.
And for the day, they are 87,243.
That's correct. And that was taken by the company that installed the meter. They also gave me a copy because for the first 2 weeks, you guys hadn't updated your records despite the fact they'd sent you the information. So I actually got them to give me. I actually spoke to them myself and got the information from them because you guys hadn't updated anything. Either way, that doesn't explain why I've got a bill in the mid for June that's so high that frankly I'd have to have my heating on 24 hours a day to do that. It's just unrealistically ridiculous. Sorry.
Okay, so these meter readings were obtained on 21st of April.
Right.
So because of some confusion and because of the smart meter was in transition phase wherein we could remotely access it, we did not get any readings in the month of May.
Right.
Okay. So because of that, you have been billed on estimates.
Yeah, for May, that's fine. I get that. Sorry.
Okay.
Finish. Understand.
Yes. You got it? Or do I need to
Right. My point is, I accept that the May figure was. I accept the figure I got for May was an estimate. That's fine, and I tell you now that's around 300 units over what I've used. But the estimate for June, there's no reason for it to be 751 units. That's a winter reading. So either your you haven't turned off your winter adjustments, or you're just, as a company, chancing your arm that no one will complain that you're overbilling them, because you essentially are overbilling me. Yes, I'm aware I'm for advanced. No, advanced billing is fine, but it's an estimate, and an estimate should usually reflect something close to reality. The problem with the estimates you're giving me, that I've been given, I've got my 3 estimated bills. I've got the estimates you gave me for April, May, and June in front of me. I also have what I actually used in April and May here. So if you can tell me how close, if you think these estimates are reasonable. So you estimate exactly 751 units for April. My combined from the old meter plus the bit I used from the new meter was 584 units. In May, I've got these readings in front of me. For May, you estimated 682 units. I used 386.5 units. For June, and even 1 month than May, you've estimated 751 units again. Obviously, I can't give you a reading for that because we haven't got to the end of June yet. However, based on what I used in May, which is probably going to be fairly close, I'm probably going to use about 370 to 380 units. So I can't see how you can suggest that estimate is even vaguely close to what's going to be used in reality, because they're nowhere near.
What will happen is now, so once we have the reading for the month of June, we'll have a reconciled bill. And once you have the reconciled bill, you can go through the data. So what you are talking is correct, sir. But since we did not get any meter reads in the month of May, we kept billing on estimates. So what has happened? Like what will happen now? Once we get our meter reads in the month of June, you will have a reconciled bill, and all your estimates will be reconciled.
Yes, but then I'll have a heavily overestimated bill for July because your estimates are so far removed from reality that I wouldn't even call them estimates. I'd suggest whoever creates the algorithm just picks a number out of the air and bills you for it.
Once we have meter reads properly, the question of estimates and the confusion won't arise because you'll have a proper bill.
Right. I think you missed. So what you're saying is, so once they finally are able to key into my meter, I will no longer get estimates. What I will get is bills based on what has actually been used. So I won't be getting bills estimated for the month ahead. Is that what you're saying? I'll be only getting bills at the end of each month for the month I've used.
Yes, what we can do is, as of now, you are on direct debit, right? So what we can cancel that.
No, the direct debit. I actually asked for direct debit because I got sick and tired of having £100+ taken out of my account and then having to have half it refunded. For you to then overbill me again the next month to actually never get the money back. So the direct debit is fine. I don't mind having the direct debit on my account. That's fine.
No, sir. Let me finish. So what will happen is once we get to your meter reading on the end of the month, you will be only charged for the amount what you consume.
Yes. Now I get how that works.
From your account.
That bit's fine, but at the end of the month, I'll also get a bill for July, which will be estimated. Only the estimate will probably be at least twice what I'm going to use because you always seem to be estimating double what I actually use, or a couple of hundred units above. So it seems almost like you as a company are taking a small interest-free loan off me every month because you always seem to owe me 20, 30, 40 pounds at the end of each month. And that is so it comes to a point where there's not an estimate anymore. It's just a number plucked out of the air.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Give me a moment, sir.
Okay.
So what you are suggesting is that our estimates are way too higher than the actual consumption.
Let me say obviously you can't see the data I've got because you obviously can't key into my meter. But take my reading for May that I've just got off of my meter for the whole of May, compared to what you estimated. So you estimated 682 units. Okay, what I actually used was 386.5 units. So there is about 295.5 units, or 295 or so units more than you've estimated than I've actually used. So you've almost doubled my bill.
Okay.
So I would suggest yes, either somewhere in the system the adjustment you make for winter usage has been left on and not turned off, or the estimates you're using are based on I don't know what, because I'd expect an estimate to be within 10 or 20% of realistic usage, not nearly double.
Okay, this has happened because of the meter readings we did not get. If we had to have a meter reading, that would have been proper bills from your RA.
Right. Well, but then you're saying your estimate. So, but I wouldn't know because I'd still be getting estimates well above what I'm actually going to be using for the month. Because what the data I give you doesn't make a difference to what you estimate, because your estimates aren't obviously based in reality.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not having. Sorry, I'll just make it clear again. I'm not having a go at you because obviously you're a human being. I'm frustrated that I'm being billed £100 plus almost every month for energy I'm just not using. I know I'm getting that money back at the end of the next month, but the next month is so overcharged that I'm never actually seeing the money back from the first bill that's overestimated.
No, sir. If we have charged you more, in the subsequent month, the amount will be adjusted accordingly.
Yes.
If there is anything in excess, we'll minus it and we'll have the bill.
Yes, but my point is,
right.
so if you let's take May and June for an example. So you overestimated me for May. Let's say my meter reading had gone through and you corrected it. You'd have still overestimated for June. So I'd have got the money back from May whilst being overestimated for June. So I've not actually got the money back, have I? Because you still owe me again at the end. You'd still owe me again at on the July estimate, then on the September estimate, then the October estimate. It just goes on and on and on and on.
No, sir, no.
Yeah.
Some confusion. No, sir, it's not the case. See, because of a smart beta confusion, this thing has happened. So if
Right.
if we had to have your meter reads on 30th of the 31st of the previous month, the question of estimates does not arise. Because we already have the meter reads, why would we bill you on estimates?
Well, it does, because you estimate a month ahead. You're billing me for electricity a month ahead. So in May, I'm paying for June's electricity. You can't possibly be getting that off a meter reading, because the meter reading isn't there yet, because it hasn't got to the end of the month. So it has to be an estimate.
This question won't arise in the subsequent one, because we'll have the meter reading for the month of June and we'll have a reconciled bill for that. So if in the month of July, when you send us when we have the meter reading for the month of July, it will be a proper bill and it won't be estimated because we already have the readings with us.
Right. So what you're saying is at the end. So
overlapping of estimates does not arise.
So just so I'm clear, so I understand, make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Okay. What you're saying is that for when it gets to the end of the month, at the end of June, my bill will be corrected based on what my smart meter tells me. Okay. And my July bill, at the end of July, I'll be just paying for July's electricity. I won't have to, in the meantime, be paying for an estimated bill. Is that correct?
For time being, this thing has happened because we did not get meter reading. But once we have the meter details with us, the question of billing your estimate does not arise.
So there'll be no. So as of sorry. So again, just to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, to make sure there's no misunderstanding, what you're saying is, once your guys are able to key into my smart meter properly and get the information off it, I will no longer ever get a bill that's estimated. I'll only get bills that are directly from my meter.
Yes, sir. We are on the same page now.
Right. Okay. I'm just making because obviously going from the dumb meter, as it were, the original meter, every month, virtually, there was an odd month where I'd made an error in the reading. That's my fault. Every month, your estimates were above. I mean, I look at last year, and the estimates are actually slightly lower, but almost identical to this as they were this time last year. And again, I mean, take for example, I don't know if you've got it to hand, for example. Do you happen to have a copy of your version of my estimated usage for the year for the last 12 months or the last build period? You should be able to see it on my account because I know you have access to that data.
Yes, I have access to your data. For now, I have access to all the readings which you have provided.
Right. Okay. So in the last 12-month period that you've got me to read, or the last 12 period, so the last by my teeth. In the last period that I've been able to give you complete month readings for 12 over that's 12 months. What is my what do you get my?
Something between while you are speaking.
Yes, of course. Because I've obviously done that for myself, and it comes out to lower than the one that one of your colleagues who I spoke to at the end of last month suggested it was by quite some margin. Because that's the one that my direct debit is based on.
So, let me speak, please. So what has happened is, if I'm dwelling on the past, okay now. So it's like let's talk about 31st of.
Right. If the most recent, sorry.
In the month of August. So first I'll finish. Then you please carry on and let me know what.
Right. So okay? From my own going back through my bills, the last full 12-month period that I can say there's a meter reading at the beginning of and a meter reading at the end of would be April 2020 to March this year. Okay. If you can bring that up for me and tell me what my EAC would have been for that 12-month period. Bear in mind that would cover the summer, Christmas, and all the winter. Because I've calculated it myself, and it comes to somewhat less than the amount that my standing order is based on. Because the direct debit I'm paying that's fixed is based on my EAC, and it seems to be somewhat lower than what your colleague suggested.
Yes, what has happened over the period of time, sir? I can see there are some meter reads which are provided on 7th, some are on 1st. Okay, and because of that, there are some 7th. I can see on 7th. So what do you have to do? Again, there is some meter reads which are submitted on 9th, and again on 9th of 2019. So what has happened is that since we did not get, like back then, probably we did not have smart meter installed in our property. So
Correct.
Since you probably don't mind me saying this, but since we did not have meter readings on the end of the month, so the estimates kept on increasing.
Right.
So what you have to do is,
Okay. No, I get that. No. Sorry.
For now, since this is smart meter, we'll dial into it at the end of the month. We'll get the accurate reading. We'll put it in our system, and we'll have a revised bill for the subsequent months.
Right. Okay. Because the 2 dates I've given you, which are April 2020 and March this year, I gave you meter readings as late in the month as I possibly could, give or take a day or two. So I know that's a 12-month period that I've got essentially an accurate period of time for on the meter, and that equates to me, including my standing charge, of less than £68 a month. But yet I was told my annual estimated charge, all in, everything should work out to about £82 a month. So I'm just confused why your colleague seems to think it would have been nearly £15 higher a month. That's all. When I initially set up the fixed direct debit.
Okay, so currently the tariff which you are on is a low, fair and green 18-month fixed. Okay, so will be charged fixed amount from the time when the tariff has started. It has started on in the 1st of August 2020.
Right.
Okay, and it will end in 31st of March 2020.
No, I know how long my I know when the contract starts and ends. I'm talking about the specific meter readings and what that translates to if you use the what you're currently charging me per kilowatt hour and my standing charge. So I'm using the data off my meter and converting it into what I'd be paying per month based on the data that based on the 13.275 per unit and the 21 pence per day that you're charging me for standing charge. So I'm using the correct figures. I'm not using funny figures at all. Okay. Either way. So that was just more of a side query than anything that I was particularly concerned about. So just so we're clear one more time, just for my own posterity as it were, come the end of June, I will get a revised bill, correct?
Yes.
And from June...
Sir, I'll say it. You please, try to relate to what I'm saying. We will dial into a meter by the end of this month. We'll have your meter reads, and in subsequent month, in the month of July, you'll have revised bill based on the meter readings which we have obtained.
But I won't be charged at anything at all for July, including an estimate, until the end of July. Is that correct? So there'll be no more from this consolidated bill, there will be no more estimates on my account going forward.
Yes, to the best of my understanding, when we get our meter reads on by the end of the month, there is a question of billing you on estimate does not arise. So this would happen.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that I was treble clear on that. Okay, that's fine. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your help. Hopefully, I don't have to phone back again.
You have been very patient with me.
No, you've been very patient with me because I know I have a habit of talking over people. I'm sorry for that. Okay, and just one more time, if I've been rude to you, if you feel I've been rude or aggressive towards you, that certainly wasn't my intention. I'm just frustrated with the whole situation.
Like a father figure to me. It's okay, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, sir.
Cheers.
Thanks for calling Symbio Energy. You have a great day.
And you. Thank you very much. Bye now. Right, so we'll see what happens, I guess. Hopefully that was all recorded reasonably well and it didn't drop out too much. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt for now. I'm going to pop this on YouTube anyway, and hopefully I won't be calling him back again in a month and complaining that they've overcharged me again. I suspect his thing about there'll be no more estimates come the bill I get at the end of this month is going to be absolute horse crap, frankly, because I don't trust this company as far as I can throw them. If you want to do a bit of research and look them up and look at their Trustpilot score, it's below 2. And Trustpilot are investigating them for aggressive practices in their challenging of the low scores, because they've basically been putting veiled threats in the responses of we're going to take you to court for giving us a bad review, despite the fact their bad reviews are so great because of the problem I'm having and others are having in regards to being overcharged. And this isn't just like that 3-month period for me. This has been going on for a long time. As I said in the call, if I go back through my phone and pull the bills for April last year, May last year, and June last year, the estimated bill isn't as high, but it's certainly closer to that than it was to realistic usage. I've actually got that data written down somewhere if I want to look. Where is it? No, I've not actually got that written down now, but I did have it written down somewhere else, but I've lost that bit of paper. You can see bits of paper I can see. Anyway, thank you for wasting your time watching me sit here pointlessly waiting for a phone call to be answered for 35 minutes and then half an hour of frankly interesting conversation with the individual on the end of the phone. Hopefully, as I say, that does bear fruition and they don't crap on me again and leave me in the shit with overcharging me once again. I mean, I don't think he quite got that his DAC that my direct debit was based on has basically been made up, because it obviously is only £15 over what it should be over the course of the year. However, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, as I say, and hopefully I won't be making a repeat of this video in 30 odd days' time. It won't be around then. Anyway, normal service will resume on the channel, on my Twitch channel, in about, I want to say, an hour or so, around 1 PM today, and GMT. It's now what time? It is now 5 to 12 GMT. So yeah, on my channel later there will be, on my Twitter channel in the next hour or so, there will be a live stream of my second part of my playthrough of Breath of the Wild. If you are interested in watching that and you catch this video in the meantime and it hasn't overrun, obviously if it's gone midday UK, 1 PM UK time, then jump straight on and onto Twitch and you'll find me. If you want to watch the replays, I upload them to YouTube, onto this channel, which you'll probably know if you've actually looked at the channel in the meantime. So yeah, the replay will be there. Give us a comment, like and subscribe. This is kind of a bit of a random video, just brought out of frustration with Symbio Energy. If you've stuck around this long and you like my face, like the way I sound, like my content, maybe looked at my other content, consider giving me a like and subscribe on YouTube. So maybe follow me up over on Twitch. Maybe follow my Twitter account at the Prodigal Game, which on that shoulder. Sorry, it's all up there. And yeah, I'll see you later, guys.